All right, so let's create our own local Podman container image registry. What that's going to do is going to let us take our images from other places like Docker Hub or private ones like your employer, or maybe you're on a private team, you're not ready to make it public, or maybe it's something super cool and you don't want to share it just yet. You might want to serve that locally just for efficiency. So then we're going to build containers inside of that. And then as the work continues, we'll start doing more and more geospatial tricks. So this is more on the architectural end right now. This is setting up a container environment that will then start building our workflows in. All right, so switching over to VS Code, let's take a look at the registry shell script. So it's a bash script. We're going to define a repo, and this is where the local image registry will live. So this is the default. Create it if you haven't, and if you forget to, it'll remind you at runtime. That's what all of this kind of confusing. It's a lot simpler than this. But if we actually run it, so it's going to be looking in var lib registry. So you can see that comes from right here. And it's also going to remind you to go ahead and change the config file so that you can actually integrate the registry server with the systemd manager, process manager. Other than that, this script is just a bunch of support for one command. So we're going to run this one podman command as a super user, and that's going to go out and get the initial image if we don't have it. And it's going to set up the local path where the registry images will be stored, and it'll map those into this container, and it'll serve that up on port 5000. So uh, in your other Podman commands, as you develop, you don't have to reach out to Docker Hub, for example, or Quay.io. You can reach out to your local images, which might be mid-level, maybe not ready for public, or maybe never ready for public. So you do have the ability to serve your own images to your collaborators. Let's go ahead and start that up. And you can see I haven't yet created that directory, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. We'll run that script again. So now if we take a look, and that was just created just a minute ago, and it just started running. And we can also look at it as an image. We should have a localhost 5000, and we have a one system image here. That's what it is. This is the privileged one. You notice it's not running as a user. So if we take a look at it, you can see it's running on port 5000. So if we wanted to see if there's anything in that catalog, this is just a backdoor. We would go to localhost, port 5000, v2 underscore catalog. And we don't have any images to serve in there yet because we just created it. But we can see that something is ready to serve images. So we have actually succeeded in running that. So next, if you're into it, you probably want to set up a system daemon process. So systemd, and you can do that such as this. I'll show you that one as well. So for this, you want to become the super user. And you want to go ahead and change to, this is on a Debian-based platform, but I believe this is the case for Red Hat too. So etc systemd, system, and you have some things in here. So we're going to run the Podman stuff here. So we're going to call this one Podman Registry. And the dot service is, you can see from the file listing in the directory here, a pretty standard extension. It has a special meaning. And that should do it. So then we want to enable that. So here's our Podman registry, and we're going to start Podman local container image registry. It's enabled, but it's not running. So if we started it, it would basically run the command that we just ran. So it would restart it. We'll go ahead and re-enable that. So it looks like we're up and running. Now if we go back to the Podman containers, we can see that we're actually running that. It's running as a service, so whenever this computer boots, this registry will be running in the background as a system process.